Oh, fuck, I'm gonna get raged upon for doing this video. How's it, folks? It's your boy Tiki-Boxx here with another episode of A Tiki View of. Today's episode, we're going to be dealing with MOBAs, the big three in particular. Dota 2, League of Legends, and the newest one, Heroes of the Storm. Now, hello Chewie. Now, instead of reviewing each game separately in a separate video, I'm going to clump them all into one, and I'm going to see which one is the best. So first up, I want to talk about complexity. Now, when we talk about complexity in the MOBA genre, while a very complex MOBA might be difficult for new players to get into, it is that complexity that keeps experienced players like myself interested in the game, working around new strategies, new combos, new counterplays, new counter picks. That is where the complexity factors in, and that's why I think it's very important to be on this list. I'm sorry, League fans, I think I have to give this one to Dota. In League of Legends, they tried to dumb it down a little bit. You don't get things such as denies. You can't deny your enemy experience by last hitting your own minions or towers. You can't deny them of gold. You can't do that in Heroes of the Storm either. There's no such thing as denies. Dota is the only one that has the ability to deny your enemies experience and gold. League of Legends might be the only one with the brush, right? League of Legends has brush. Heroes of the Storm also has brush. It's a part on the map you can stand in and the enemy can't see you. They don't have line of sight to you. Now, Dota might not have this, but that's what makes it all the more complex. In Dota, you have things such as in the trees, there are paths and nooks and crannies that you have to learn. You can't just step into the trees and become invisible. You have to know the pathways within the trees to be able to evade or sneak up on your enemies. That is what makes Dota all the more complex in that respect. Furthermore, you have things such as tangos or quelling blades that can cut down trees. You can make your own paths within the trees. The high ground in Dota. Yes, okay, you have high ground in League of Legends, but that's only really at the river and in the base. The map design itself in Dota 2, in Dota in general, the map design itself is completely 100 times more complex than the map design in League of Legends. I mean, in League of Legends, the blue side and the red side, or whatever color you have it set to, the two sides of the map are mirrored. On either side of the river, it's the exact same, it's just a mirror copy. In Dota 2, you have the dire side and the radiant side, and these two sides of the map are very different. Just the way heroes scale in Dota, whether they're good at early game or good at late game, the way they scale, the possibilities for item builds in Dota, the way you can counterplay your enemy with your combo picks, with your counter picks, with your combo and counter item builds in Dota makes it the far more complex game. So I'm gonna give Dota a 3, I'm gonna give LoL a 2, and I'm gonna give Heroes a 1 for complexity. Next up, I want to talk about maps. Now, Dota 2 has basically one map. League of Legends, they have obviously the 5v5 map, there's a 3v3 map, there's the ARAM, all random, all mid map. I'm gonna miss Dominion, even though I didn't really play it that much. In Heroes of the Storm, on the other hand, 10 different map modes, 10 different battlegrounds in Heroes of the Storm. There are so many battlegrounds in Heroes of the Storm, one of them isn't even in rotation. Haunted Mines isn't even in rotation anymore because they're worried about having too many different battlegrounds in Heroes of the Storm. 10 different battlegrounds in Heroes of the Storm. I'm gonna give this one to Heroes of the Storm. Heroes of the Storm gets a 3. League of Legends gets a 2. Dota 2 still has the one and only Dota map. Next up on the scoreboard, I want to talk about heroes, champions, whatever you want to call them. It's the playable characters in these MOBA titles. Now I'm going to be looking at quality as well as quantity when I make the decision. Dota has 112 playable characters in their game. In Dota 2, there's only 111 playable characters because Valve drags their feet when they release heroes. They haven't released a new one. They've all been old heroes that have been found in Dota 1, and they're just slow as fuck to release new ones. They haven't even come up with any new ideas for ages. However, each and every single one of the heroes is free to play. You don't have to spend gold, you don't have to spend RP, whatever. You don't have to buy them. When League of Legends was released in 2009, they only had 17 champions to choose from. From 17, they grew that number to 129. And yeah, they probably made a lot of money off of it because their business model is you have to either play the game lots and lots and lots and lots and lots to earn the free money to buy the champions you want to play, or you have to spend real money to play those champions. The champions they have in League of Legends are really cool ideas, especially the latest ones that they've been releasing. They're really cool ideas, they're really unique, they're new, they're fresh. So I don't think League of Legends deserves to come in last place for this one. Heroes of the Storm, however, they're the newest game. They only have 49 playable heroes. But I don't think they deserve to be in last place either. And I'll tell you why. It's because of heroes such as Abathur, Lost Vikings, Cho'Gall. These heroes are completely unique. Almost all of the heroes in Heroes of the Storm are really, really cool ideas, really fresh, really unique ideas. Not to mention that the lore and the story behind each and every single one of those playable characters is really rich. All of the heroes in Heroes of the Storm are either playable characters, playable classes in their other titles, or you can go out in the world and find them in the worlds of those other games, those other Blizzard titles. I think I'm gonna tie it up. I'm gonna give each one 2 points. 2 points for Dota, 2 points for LoL, and 2 points for Heroes. Following up from Heroes on the scoreboard, I'm gonna have a look at items or builds, because a big part of this genre is building your character to be good in any given situation, to fuck up your enemy given whatever they might be trying to throw at you. Now, Heroes of the Storm, as you might know already, there's no items. There's no shop. You can't go buy boots. You can't go buy tangos. Fucking the only way to scale up your character is by leveling up. You can't scale survivability items. You can't scale with damage items. You can't buy these items. What Heroes of the Storm has is a unique talent tree for all their heroes. Each hero has its own unique talent tree, and you build your talents. As you level up every 3 levels, you get a new talent point you can spend in building your hero. League of Legends, on the other hand, there is a shop. The items in League of Legends seem a little bit beige to me. It's a little bit dried toast. They're not really that interesting, especially when it comes to active abilities. They have some active abilities on the items, but they're not really that interesting. They mostly provide passive bonuses that don't really change the game or change playstyle. However, League of Legends has glyphs, masteries, and summoner spells to help you customize your character. You have to decide which glyphs, which masteries, and which summoner spells you're going to take before the match even starts. However, that is quite unique for the genre. Dota 2 probably has the most interesting concepts when it comes to building your character, building for the situation, building your role. Not only do you get stats such as damage, right click damage, or armor, or magic resist, stuff you find in League of Legends, but there's also the aspect of the stats, as in intellect, strength, and agility. These things make it all that much more customizable. Not to mention the active abilities on the items in Dota. These are perhaps the most interesting active abilities on items you can find in the genre. And I think that must be because the way that certain champions in Dota are designed to be good in early game, to be good in mid game, and to be good in late game. Some champions are only good in early to mid game, and they suck complete balls at end of the game. No matter what stat priority you take, they're gonna suck at the end of the game. So they had to add certain items that will still make those kinds of champions viable in the late game. They had to compensate by putting in interesting items that you can really feel the impact of. And that is why the items and builds in Dota 2 are probably the most interesting out of the three. Heroes of the Storm sometimes kind of feels a bit too cookie cutter. Somebody will go online, look up a build for somebody, and they'll decide, this is it, this is my build, this is the one I'm going to stick to the whole game. And yes, that's true. I try not to be like that. I try to play for the situation. League of Legends is the same thing. If you're playing ADC carry, what are you going to buy? Phantom Dance and Infinity Edge. Almost every single time. Because why? Those are probably the best items for you to get. If you're playing an AP character, you're going to go buy an Rabadon's Death Cap. Because you kind of have to. So I'm going to give Dota a 3. I'm going to give League of Legends a 2. And I'm going to give Heroes of the Storm 1. Alright, so next up I want to talk about the community. Now by that I mean the people you will have to engage with when you play these multiplayer online games. Now the reason I want to talk about community is because community can have an effect on the way you enjoy the game. Whether you can't handle all the flaming that you're inevitably going to get from the enemy and your team, or whether you're that kind of douchebag who just enjoys feeding off the tears and misery of other people. In Heroes of the Storm, I play on the EU server, and from what I've seen, the community isn't actually that bad. I've actually used the group finder in Heroes of the Storm to play with random people, and they're fine, mostly. The other thing about Heroes of the Storm is it's impossible to communicate with the enemy team if you're in a matchmaking game. You can't communicate with the enemy team, so they can't flame you, you can't flame them. The only people who can flame you are your team. In League of Legends, I play on the EU West server, and I've actually made quite a few friends there. However, I found that the League community is mostly a bunch of whining, whinging crybabies who will find a way of insulting your age and or your mother. Especially if you dare to go against the glorious and holy meta. You got Majais on Janna? What the fuck, man? Are you 10? I fucked your mother. Well, yeah, I did get Majais on Janna. And guess what? Now it's one of her recommended items. So fuck you. Dota 2 is the only one of these games that has a South African server, which obviously I play on. I was really considering giving it a bonus point for that, but I don't think I'll have to. The Dota community isn't that much better than the League of Legends community. However, I think that it's somewhat justifiable. Dota 2 has the steepest learning curve and it's the harder game to play. You spend all this time putting hours and hours and hours in to master this seriously complex game, and then some scrub on your team is fucking it up for you. Yeah, you can throw a wobbly. It makes sense. And it's a much better reason than, what the fuck, Janna Majais? Furthermore, you are able to trade cosmetic items in Dota with other people in the community through Steam. You can trade items, you can trade them for other games, you can even sell your items on the Steam market. This helps to build a stronger and better community. So for this reason, I'm going to give Dota 2 3 points, I'm going to give League of Legends 1 point, and I'm going to give Heroes of the Storm 2 points. And well, there it is. It looks like Dota is the best of the three, with League of Legends and Heroes of the Storm tying for second place. I did try to be as objective as possible in this review, but I couldn't help throwing in my own opinion here and there. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Tiki-Boxx with another Tiki view of. Let me know what you thought about the video. Let me know if you want to see more of this kind of thing. I'm pretty sure I'm going to revisit this subject with a few of my bros that will be able to come up here and stand up and defend the games that they believe are the ones are the best. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Love and peace.